Hello Flosstube, how are you all? I know it's been a while since I last posted a video. In fact, it's been 9 weeks and lots has been going on. So you've probably been wondering where I've been and what I've been up to. So I thought I'd just start with a bit of an update and then I will get into my stitching. So first and foremost, like I say, I hope you are all well and you are all like I say, keeping safe and well. If you are new to my channel, this is where I talk about my cross stitch journey, which has been almost a year on Flosstube. And if you're a returning viewer, then thank you for coming back. So I think the last time I posted a video was in April. Didn't post anything in May. And here in the UK, we were given permission, for those of us that were, if you like, working online, we were then given permission to go back into work from, I think it was the 12th of May. So my work became super busy in preparation for getting back into, if you like, real life. So that was the first thing. The second thing was I became anemic again. For those of you that have been with me a little while will remember back at the beginning of the year I was very anemic and iron deficient, and that's happened again. So I have been getting lots of rest and yeah, like I say, not much stitching going on. In fact, I've got my little journal here. You know, I keep my stitching in my journal. I'll show you just how much stitching I did in May. It was, honestly, I can't believe how little that I did. This was May. So yeah, you can see really not very much at all. And I decided in May as well that I would change my the way I store my floss for my Heaven and Earth design. So normally what I would do is I would have a box with all the different floss colours in for each project, but I realised as the more and more I was starting how expensive that was getting, because a lot of the colours were repeated. So what I did was I put all of the colours from each project, just one strand on like floss drops like these. I think they're called floss drops. So that took a lot of hours, let me tell you, to do that with all of the projects. And then I decided to put all of my floss into one big box like this. So that's a double-sided box. So that's all of the floss for my Heaven and Earth designs, and then any spares have gone in a separate place because, like I say, it was just a lot of the colours are the same. So again, so that's something that took me quite a long time rather than stitching. What else? I've also got an Etsy shop. So last year, before I started my Flosstube and started finding Heaven and Earth designs, I started an Etsy shop. A lot of you know I've got some health issues and I was one of those shielders, so I stayed at home. And so that I wasn't, if you like, working all the time, because you know how easy that can be to, when you're at home and you're working, you could literally just work for hours. Well, I wanted to have something for me, so I started an Etsy shop in digital prints, and I didn't really do much with it. And then in May, I decided to relaunch it with physical prints, and it has been super busy. So I do prints like A4 or A5 prints that are for birthdays, for friends, for all sorts of kind of occasions. And I'm really enjoying that because that's just another little outlet for me. So yes, that's another thing that I was doing. So that took a bit of time to relaunch that Etsy shop. And then very sadly, over the last month, we have got a very poorly relative who we found out this week is sadly terminal. She went in probably about a month ago to hospital and ended up having a massive operation, ended up in ITU. And yeah, like I say, this week we found out she's riddled with cancer and hasn't got long left to live. So, and that, for anybody that's been through anything like that, will know it's an absolute roller coaster You think they're okay 1 minute and then they go downhill the next, and it's tough. It's really, really tough. So all of that combined is why I've not been around for the last 9 weeks. So I'm really excited to be back with you today. I think I've got 9 projects to show you because my stitching bug has picked up, and I've done some stitching now that I've sorted out my floss. That was just, like I say, the biggest headache, and I will come on to what prompted me to start doing that as I go through my whips. But yes, that's why I've not been around. But I've also made a decision to do fortnightly videos because while I've got all of this going on, I know that I'm not stitching as much as I used to. So I think fortnightly videos, just so that you guys have plenty to see. Otherwise I'm just going to be showing you like 1 or 2 projects, which could be quite boring. So yeah, I will be doing fortnightly videos. Now, because of my work pattern, I don't know what day that's going to be. I'm still going to aim for a Tuesday, but it could be any time that week. So just look out for a video in 2 weeks' time, basically. So let's get into my whips. And the first one is my Winnie the Pooh. This is Around the Year with Pooh, and it's by Designer Stitches. Now this is literally, I think, my oldest whip. I think I started this when I was about 18. So we're talking a lot of years. And I dug it out and then I put it in timeout, and then this year I really wanted to get it out again. In fact, I actually want to get it finished this year. I think I need to pull my finger out a little bit, but anyway, so this is what it will look like. And so far, in these 9 weeks, I have spent 5 hours on it, and it's on 18 count 2 over 1. And one of the things that was sort of stopping me were 2 things actually with this project. Number one, I needed to, I don't know if you can see that, I needed to do the edges because the edges were fraying, and I didn't want to keep getting out and the edges fray. And number 2, the chart is so small. Now, I'd never really noticed that before, but it is really small. So what I ended up doing was taking a picture on my iPad and then using my Apple Pencil in Notability. I've got the app Notability on my iPad. I was like colouring in the stitches that I was doing, which worked out really well. So this is where it is up to now. So what I've been spending the time on is this one here. So I want to go back to this one and finish the outline. Hopefully you can see that. Oh no, there we go. Yes, I want to go back to this one and finish the outline and write in the month, because January was completely finished, and then finish that one and do the same. And then I want to go over to this one and finish that one and then do this one. So I'm kind of matching as I go, and then I'll get to here and then I'll finish this middle bit off. So that's the plan anyway. So, and this was a kit, like I say, several years ago. I don't even know if this kit is still around. But yeah, I really do love Winnie the Pooh anyway. So that's that one. The next one I worked on was my Story Keep, Life is an Open Book, New York. This is by Amy Stewart. As many of you know, I've done the Paris version. I finished that one last year. In fact, that was my first Heaven and Earth project. And I literally did that in, I think, 5 months, that project. This one's going to take a little bit longer because I started this on my birthday last year, which was in December. And as many of you know, I started a lot of these projects towards the end of last year, starting them on the diagonal, because what I really liked is, especially with the heavy confetti, which as we know Heaven and Earth designs are, it really helped just doing like 1 stitch at a time in one colour, because there were lots of ninja stitches in this project that were just randomly placed of 1 colour here and 1 colour there, and yeah. But then I thought, as much as I love the diagonal stitching, this is going to take forever, absolutely forever. So I wanted to finish the diagonal that I was on, which I have now done, but let me show you. So I don't know, guys, if I'm going to have any before pictures. If I do, I will put them in, just because it's been so many weeks, I don't know. But if I do have any before pictures, like I say, I'll put them in. But this is where it is at now. So as you can see, that diagonal is done. I've still got a couple of threads here, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going rogue. So what I'm going to do is, I do need to move this Q-snap frame, is I'm going to stitch in the part threads first, and then I'm just going to take a colour and work down. So then what my plan will be that I kind of square this up a bit, and then I'll just move along. So it will get to a point where I get across the whole like width of the design, and then I'll just work down. So I might do one side, move the frame, do another side, and so on. Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to do it anyway. But I just like the thought of I think it's Sarah Stitching Mummy, just sort of literally picks one, the next sort of symbol along, does that one, and then does the next symbol, does that one, and then so on across, and then just kind of works across and then down. And I really like that. So you'll see that in some of my projects. So it's not that I don't like the diagonal stitching, I really, really do, but it's so slow. It's so slow. And I would really like to see some more progress on these designs. So that's my Life is an Open Book, Story Keep Life is an Open Book New York. This is stitched on 18 count, 2/1. I did 8 hours on it, which was 857 stitches, and I'm at 6.4%, which, as you can see guys, if I started this in December, 6.4% doesn't feel a lot. So that's why I want to kind of get a bit of a move on with this one. I'd love to get this one finished this year, although now that we're coming towards the end of June, I'm not sure. We will see, we will see. As you can see, I've got great plans of finishing lots of things this year, and I don't know if that's at all possible. I'm just going to keep stitching actually. And just hope that I can get some more finishes. If I can't, I can't, but I'll just keep stitching. So my next one then was a new start. Now, for weeks, months, I've been saying, oh, you know, 8 Heaven and Earth designs, that's enough for me. And it was towards the beginning of May that I was seeing people kitting up new Heaven and Earth designs, and I was sitting on the sofa with my boyfriend, and I was saying, oh, look at all these designs that people are starting. And he was like, well, I know you've got loads of designs that you'd love to start. I said, I know, but I can't really start anymore. And he was like, well, why not? And I was like, well, it's so expensive to kit it up. And he's like, well, can you not do it in a cheaper way? And I was like, actually, I probably could. I could put all the colours into one, and I could put one strand on floss drops, and then when I use that one strand, I will then replace it from my master box. So hence why all of these are now on floss drops. And like I say, when I've used like this, for example, this one strand, I then just get it out my master box and just replace it. And I've not found any issues with dye lots, because a lot of these colours were brought in the last year. In fact, all of them I think were brought in the last year. So I've not found any issues with dye lots or anything like that. So because of that, I was like, right, I'm going to start some more. And over the last few weeks, Heaven and Earth have had, I think it's probably 2 sales. Yeah, sort of fell down that rabbit hole again. I know that I'm not the only one with that. And I saw this next design. I saw the bigger version. And when I clicked on it, I saw the Minnie, and I thought, oh, actually, the Minnie looks quite good as well. And it was, and I hadn't taken any notice of who the artist was. And it was only when I was printing out because I always print out like the front page of it. It was only when I was printing that out, I was like, ah, it's by Amy Stewart. No wonder I like it, because I absolutely adore all of her pieces. And this one is called Story Keep Beach Bliss. And that's what it looks like. And what I love with this is, obviously for a lot of us, we can't go away this year on holiday. It just reminds me of the beach. I love the beach. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I started stitching on that. Now, with my material, you will notice there's quite a few starts, and there's a few more starts coming. So, yeah, I've gone quite wild with it. Yeah, never mind. I ordered my fabric from eBay, and I found a UK seller, and they are brilliant. They have such a range of fabric, As you know, 20 count is my sweet spot for all my fabric. So all of the fabric I've ordered is in 20 count, but I've ordered a variety of fabric and I've gone with non-gridded fabric. I was like, am I being stupid here or just brave? And I love the non-gridded. I thought I would really struggle with the non-gridded, but I thought, hold on a minute, I can count here. I can count. And I think just by doing this stitching, one link of thread at a time really helps. So you're going on the neck symbol and then you're just working that colour through, so that really helps. But my fabric, I'll just show you, this was the card that came with it. And I'll link this below. This is Flosstube Needlecrafts, and the people that run it are Fiona and Hannah. And it's absolutely brilliant. The fabric arrived fast. It's really good quality fabric. I used some of their fabric last year. I started my temperature tree and that was where I got the fabric from. So I knew that it was good fabric. So like I say, I've just ordered quite a bit of, in fact, I think I've ordered nearly all of my fabric for these starts from them, and the only one I didn't, there's one that I haven't quite started yet, but I will be. I ordered that from Lakeside Needlecraft because I wanted gridded and they didn't have any of the size in stock that I wanted. So that's that, but like I say, I'll link those people below. So this is stitched on antique white 20 count Ada. And sorry for the rustling, I just like to keep it in its packaging that it came in. So this is going to be a really like sort of long one, as you can see. Right, so here is the start I've got so far. Not much, doesn't look much. But this is 6 hours worth of stitching and it's 943 stitches. It's 0.98%. And as I say, this is on 20 count 2/1. I just love it already. I love the colours in this. Yeah, I just can't wait to do more. And like I said, it's going to be a really long one. Much longer than my Story Keep Paris or New York or the London one, much longer. So yeah, I'd hate to think how big the big one would have been, but I really like doing like these little story keeps. So that was Beach Bliss. Just put that over there. Then I worked on one of my older Heaven and Earth designs, which is the Ornament Healing Rose by Carol Cavaleris. And this was my first ornament piece. And do you know what I love about this piece is all of the colours. You could literally just pick anywhere to do the design, and you can like stitch in all different colours. What I was doing with it when I was working on it was trying to work from the top down. Whether or not I carry on with that on this one, I don't know. But this is where I'm at. And I'll show you the top, do a bit of a close-up of the top, and that's just a little bit more filled in than what it was. So yeah, you can kind of start to see it forming. Lots more to go in this one though, but yeah, really lovely, because again with this one, if I get a bit fed up with stitching in one colour, I just switch to another colour. That's what I love about it, and it's actually in quite big blocks. It's not loads and loads of confetti, it's actually quite big blocks of colour. So this one got 2 hours and 439 stitches, which it's now at 13.97%, sorry, and this one is stitched on 18 count 2/1. So that was that. And then, like many of you, I started one that's been very popular lately, and funnily enough, it was in my wish list well before it got started, and I think it is Darcy and Emma that started this, which is the Minnie, I'm doing the mini versions, Minnie Sunflower Cottage. I thought, yep, I will start that as well. There's lots of us starting it, and yeah, I thought I would start it. So I got my fabric from the Flora Shelf, Viona, and Hannah at eBay. This is another one of their fabrics, and this is 20 count white Ada, and it's a very small start, and here it is. That's literally my start on it, just one sort of sitting. And oh, I'm just going to turn over the page, and it was only 2 hours worth of work there, 400 stitches, 0.71%, and as I say, yeah, 20 count 2/1, and no grids. So I really love this design, so I can't wait to stitch a little bit more on that. So that's that one. And then I had another new start. So I've had 3 new starts so far in May. And this one again was it's been in my wish list section of my Heaven and Earth, of the Heaven and Earth website for a long time. And this one is Minnie Checking It Twice. And this one's by Donna Gelsinger. And I love this one. This is just Christmas to me. Just absolutely gorgeous design. And I've seen a few people finish this, and that's what prompted me to get this in a sale. So now this one is stitched on 20 count snow or snow stroke pearl Ada. I don't know if you can see, but it kind I don't know. Yeah, it kind of glistens. There you go. And this is my start. That's it so far. And this one had 6 hours. This is 6 hours worth of stitching there. It just shows you, doesn't it, the difference. So this is 2 hours, but only in one colour. And this one is 6 hours in lots of colours, because there's lots of confetti in this first corner. And this, like I say, had 6 hours, 965 stitches, and it's at 1.47%. And yeah, 20 count 2/1. But I really like this sort of pearl material. There's another design that I am going to start on that same material as well. So that was that. Then I worked on my World Travel bookshelf. Now, I really wanted to get 21,000 stitches done on this one in the year, and I'm so behind because obviously, like I said, I was doing this diagonally and it was just so slow. So I went rogue on this one. This was the first one I think that I went rogue on, and I just decided to do that with all of my diagonal stitching ones. And I was trying to do as much as I can on some days. So even if it was just half an hour, I was trying to get as much done. So I've put it back in my big frame. I've got it on my table stand now. And what I'm trying to do is go to the bottom of the shelf, of the first shelf, and then I will center it in my frame and then just work along the shelf. So this is where I'm at. So yeah, I've basically had lots of empty threads, and so I've filled all those in. And now I'm working down. So I think I've got a flower. This is part of the lady's dress. I've got a flower here, and then I think the shelf goes maybe down a bit more. So maybe about like here, the shelf might come along. And then I'll move this down from my frame so it's sort of in the middle, and then just work along. That's the plan. But I'm hoping that I can get more stitches and I can get 21,000 done in this year, because it's 406,000 stitches, the whole project. If I don't get 21,000 done, yeah, it will take me a long time. My actual aim when I first started this on the 1st of January was to do 100,000 stitches per year. So it took me 4 years. Don't think I'm going to do that. And my idea was that I would do one shelf a year. No, don't think I'm going to do that, sadly. But I will do what I can on this one. So that's why it's just permanently out, because I like to try and work on it every day. And I've only just sort of started that because It's had 8.5 hours. That's 1,570 stitches. So that's all of my stitches that I've gone rogue in. 1,570 stitches, which, to be honest with you, per hour doing it diagonally, I was only averaging about 100 stitches. So I've actually almost doubled my stitch count by going rogue. So I might be able to catch up a little bit and do a bit more. But that means I'm only at 1.46% still. As you can see, got a long way to go. It's on 20 count, 2/1, and that's obviously the gridded easy guide fabric. But I do love the design. I mean, how gorgeous is that? And again, it's another one by Amy Stewart. So yeah, look, I mean, I've just seen so many people do this, especially on Instagram, and that inspires me a lot. So that's that one. And then just 2 more projects that I have worked on in these last 9 weeks. And the next one is my oldest Heaven and Earth design. This was the second one that I started. And this is Minnie Virus Detected by Randall Spangler. And I hadn't got this out for a while. I think it's because I made a bit of a mistake on one of the shelf bits here. And what I realised was I was kind of on the back of it. I don't know how to explain it. I kind of had stitched, I don't mean stitched over it, but I'd kind of carried over it and all sorts, and there was just no way I was going to be able to undo it. So I was like, I've just got to work out how I'm just going to get through this, because that was putting me off from getting it back out again. Anyway, I think I've done that now. I think I've sorted it. And I think actually I was really quite upset, because I think this is the first time I've made a mistake like that. And I think it upset me because I was on gridded fabric as well. So yeah, a bit, like I say, a bit miffed. So I hadn't got it out for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then Full Coverage Fanatics had a challenge where you had to get your oldest full coverage project out. I think it was last weekend, and stitch on it all weekend from the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that is what I did. And this is where I'm at now with it. And I basically did, again, doing the same way what I was doing, just picked a colour and worked across. So I did do a lot of the shelf colours. When I got a bit bored of the shelf colours, I think I did a strand of the green down here, I did a strand of this sort of reddy colour in here. But I did as much of that shelf as possible, because I really don't enjoy doing that shelf. I don't know why I don't enjoy it. I don't know if it's because of the colours or I don't know, but it is coming on now. And I do really like the picture, so I want to get that shelf done. That is for sure. And yeah, then I can work down onto the books, the bookshelf again, and do a little bit more down this way. I think that's the computer where it says Virus Detected. So yeah, really liking this and liking how it's coming out. And that shelf does look okay. I mean, you can't see where I've made my little mistake, and it is a little mistake. It's just so tiny, the mistake that I made, but it was just some wrong stitches in the wrong place. But you can't see it. I can't tell anyway. So yeah, that's that one. This one is stitched on 20 count. This was my first piece on 20 count, and when I was stitching it, I was like, ooh, I really like this. So if you've not tried 20 count, honestly, give it a go. For me, 18 count is it's almost like a bit too big in stitches for Heaven and Earth design. I have got a few of them still on 18 count, but I think moving forward, I'm always going to start on 20 count now. I tried 25 count, and as many of you know, I didn't enjoy it at all. I even tried 10 stitch, started a project and did about 5,000 stitches and just abandoned that project because I wasn't enjoying it. So yeah, 20 count is the way to go for me. So then my last project, this was one of the ones I started in December. This is Quick Stitch Spirit of Winter Robin by, I don't know how to say this, Ciro Marchetti. That's what that one will look like. and this piece is very, very special to me. So basically this was one that I started diagonally. I've gone rogue, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to stitch in the part threads at the moment. When I've done that, then I will kind of go across and down, I think. But that's where I'm at the moment, and as you can see, I've got the start of the robin. There is a part of me that thinks to keep the diagonals, but do like, so I do 20, I was doing 20 row diagonals, or 20 stitches across kind of diagonals, and then just work down, and I could do the colours that way. Again, I don't know, because I really like, with especially with this one, just with doing the diagonal, how the picture was coming alive. I don't know, but I think doing it stitch by stitch, again, was just taking so long. But yeah, I'm really enjoying seeing the robin coming out on that one. And this one, I spent 2.5 hours on this one, and that's 373 stitches, and that's at 9.01%. So that is all of my stitching for the last 9 weeks. Lots of projects, but maybe not as much stitching on as many of them as I would like. Now, moving forward, next week I am off work for a week, and we are planning on having a staycation here in the UK. We've got Airbnb booked on the coast, so I will be taking some stitching with me. I don't know what to take though, because obviously I can't really take my World Travel bookshelf because that's a bit too big. But if you guys have any idea which project you think would be easy for me to take, pop it in the comments below. Actually, let's say 2 projects. Yeah, I'll take 2 projects with me. I've got them in project bags, that's okay. I'll take 2 projects with me. Which 2 projects do you guys think I should take away with me next week? Because, would you believe it, the weather here in the UK has been absolutely glorious. I mean, 28, 29 degrees. Today it is absolutely pouring with rain, and typical UK weather. And next week, the week I've booked off, is pouring with rain the whole week. So we might end up spending a bit more time in our Airbnb place watching films, which is fine because it's just about relaxing, isn't it, for the week. So I'll take 2 projects with me, and I'll let you guys decide which 2 projects you think I should take with me. Something that's going to be easy to take would be great. So yeah, comment below. And then when I come back, I may even have a new start by the time I next see you, because I've got one that's pretty much ready to go, and one, it's a chart that I brought a few charts this time last year, one of them being my story Keep Life is an Open Book Paris, which is the one I finished, but the one I want to start is one of the charts that was in the first lot of charts that I bought. So I've had this chart, like I say, a whole year, and I would like to get it started. So I will be back in 2 weeks time, guys. Please keep safe and well, and thank you once again for all your lovely comments asking me if I'm okay, because you'd miss seeing me. But if I'm not back in 2 weeks, then you know, there's a lot going on for me, but I hope that I can be back. So anyway, guys, take care and see you soon. Bye for now.